Hi! Today, we'll learn all about the fundamentals of enterprise risk management, its 5 components, and why a strong enterprise risk management program is a must for any thriving organization. This is Audit Board Essentials. Enterprise risk management, or ERM, is a methodology that integrates traditional risk management strategies with internal control best practices, as well as otherwise siloed risk activities, giving stakeholders a deeper understanding of a company's risk profile and its ability to meet strategic objectives. The practice of risk management has a long history, with origins dating back to the 1920s. As the discipline of risk management evolved, organizations and practitioners realized that the previous approaches to risk management, which often relied on business units to manage their own risks and mitigation plans, were allowing risks to pass through gaps caused by siloed functions. The need for a centralized and enterprise-wide approach to risk management gradually became clear, and so the methodology of enterprise risk management was born. In this video, we'll walk through the 5 key components of ERM, loosely based on the COSO Enterprise Risk Management Integrated Framework. The 5 components of enterprise risk management are company culture, governance, and values, strategic planning, objectives, and goal setting, the risk management cycle, referred to as performance by COSO, monitoring and continuous improvement, referred to as review and revision by COSO, and lastly, transparency, communication, and reporting. The culture, governance structure, and values of an organization play a major role in establishing and maintaining a successful enterprise risk management program. The internal environment defined by policies, procedures, code of conduct, and operational norms affect how employees and business units view risk, including how engaged they'll be with the overall risk strategy. This component of ERM also has to do with the organization's tone at the top, overall operating structure, and retention. As we now know, the attitudes, values, and actions of a company's leadership and senior management have a ripple effect throughout the entire organization. A poorly defined or constructed operating structure brings potential risks related to meeting customers' expectations while maintaining quality. Despite the pressures and politics associated with senior management, company culture, and governance, risk professionals shouldn't turn a blind eye to the organization's internal environment and should proceed to identify and document possible risk exposures in management practices. Appointing or hiring a chief risk officer to oversee the business's risk management processes, communicate with leadership, and be accountable for the program is a good step towards strengthening ERM. Strategic planning, objectives, and goal setting is another component of ERM. Since the foundational principles of ERM take a top-down approach, an important step in this process is to collaborate with stakeholders, senior management, and even the board of directors to define the company's objectives, goals, and strategy for meeting those goals. Once these are set, the process of identifying, assessing, responding, reporting, and monitoring risks can finally begin. As part of this stage, senior management should define the risk appetite and thresholds, drawing lines around the risks they're willing to accept. If possible, key risks that have a material or otherwise significant effect on the business should also be identified and discussed, making this a good time to decide if the company will be employing an existing enterprise risk management framework or a bespoke framework, and to brainstorm metrics and key risk indicators that the organization can use to measure its risk management performance. Once senior management has set the organization's goals and objectives and defined their risk appetite, the cycle of risk identification, risk assessment, and risk mitigation and response can begin. Monitoring and continuously improving your program is another key component of an effective ERM function. Organizations should monitor their program performance periodically, establishing benchmarks to assess results year over year. Through monitoring of ERM activities, the company can get ahead of large-scale organizational changes that could affect overall risk strategy. Any substantial changes to ERM processes should be reflected in documentation, such as policies and procedures. Continuous improvement follows as a natural step to monitoring. An organization's risk profile, ERM strategy, and stakeholders will change over time, necessitating regular updates to an ERM program. By capturing observations and gaps through the monitoring process, risk teams can iterate and improve enterprise risk management. The final component we have identified as part of enterprise risk management is transparency, communication, and reporting. In order to create a valuable feedback loop, the outcomes and status of ERM initiatives should be communicated to relevant stakeholders and reported back to leadership. Their feedback should be solicited and taken into account to optimize the ERM program. Reports on enterprise risk management include information about the program, risks, mitigation efforts, culture, and performance. Remaining mindful of the audience and customizing reports to meet the needs of senior management can go a long way in terms of communicating your message and garnering executive buy-in. Enterprise risk management takes a holistic view of an organization's risk posture, objectives, and internal environment, unifying one siloed risk management activities. In addition to providing a more comprehensive view of company risks and action plans, ERM processes encourage collaboration across different business units for the purpose of mitigating and better managing risks. By establishing a strong ERM program, organizations can better understand their risk appetite and improve decision-making capabilities, prioritizing initiatives and mitigation efforts that support the company's goals. That's it for this episode of Audit Board Essentials. Be sure to subscribe and tune into our channel for future episodes where we'll be covering the nuts and bolts of foundational knowledge of audit, risk, and compliance.